Day one, we learn about the origin of chaos. Again, if you haven't watched that video, go watch that. I'm gonna also include the link when I'm sending out day two of today's workshop. Today, we're gonna look into deepening your vision or clarity, clarifying your purpose. Because when we're talking about from chaos to clarity. The chaos oftentimes um, are created because there are things that we want. There are things that we look to the future, the things that sort of kind of like in the peripheral, something that we want or we don't want, that that creates this thoughts of either we worry or we think about it too much. We think that we need all the details that we need to get what we want, or we think about the details of the things that we don't want in the future. So to allow ourselves to have the clarity, to allow ourselves to have the confidence to step into whatever it is. And yesterday, actually, I'm going to go into the next slide. What we learned yesterday, right? What kept us stuck in our mind or going in circle or having that hamster wheel that keeps running and running without any exits, without stopping inside our mind, the things that we often lose our freedom or power to do more joyful or meaningful things, right? Or not feeling love or not in the flow, especially for the feminine out there. When you're not feeling that you're in abundance, or you're not feeling like you're in a good place or flowing with life, then you feel that your thoughts starting to run in circle. And every time you notice that there are things that sort of kind of stop you, or you notice that there are pattern like, I want to do this, or I want to avoid this, but it keeps it keeps happening the same way. Or you feeling like, say, I want to quit my job, but you keep saying that you want to quit your job, but you never really quit your job because there's a lot of things that you worry about in your mind, things that you're uncertain about, and there's always stories behind them. So one of the exercises that we did yesterday, we want to look at all the situations that we feel that we're stuck, where we lose our freedom, our joy, not feeling love, abundance, and what is actually running behind this situation, the stories behind the situation. Like yesterday, there's the stories like, oh, I've tried my best, but I'm still not getting anything. And then there's also a story of like, well, how about if things are, something bad is going to happen to me? What will happen to me? Like, how am I not worried about that, right? The over warriors. And also, like this morning, I was having a conversation with somebody about money, right? Sometimes like, oh, money is so hard to get. Like I have to really work extra hard for money. Money doesn't come to me easily. And somebody pointed out to me, money is an energy, and the relationship we have with money is the same relationship that we have with love. Oh, let me mute whoever it is that just came in because I'm hearing myself. And he pointed out to me, like, what if you replace money with love? What is your relationship with love? And funny thing is, the same words, same statement can also work when I say, oh, money is hard to get. Love is also hard to get. So just be mindful of these little things that sometimes we did create the stories because maybe somewhere, somehow down the, in our life, we have disappointments. We have life lessons that become part of what we believe. There are teachings, knowledge that people put in books, or that we absorb as we're growing up, like, when we're at school, with our family, our culture. So things like this create the stories behind the situation that we often feel like, I can't go past through this. There's something that needs to change, but we can't change. That's because there are stories that running in our mind that keep saying that you can't do that. You cannot step into that. You can't be outside when there's rain. You keep mentioning rain yesterday because, sometimes just being out and about and there's rain, we often lose control over, being or having the water falling over us. So things that, again, I might be repeating a lot, but just so that you get this message through, the things that keep you stuck, the things that keep circling in your head, that hamster wheel without exit in your mind, that keep you feeling like you're losing your freedom, power to do things that are more joyful or meaningful, or you're feeling that you're not loved or in a flow or flow with abundance. What are the stories behind them? So if you haven't done the homework yesterday, after today's, or when I'm doing my presentation, if you're feeling called to answer the questions, like what are the situations that keeping me stuck, and what are the stories running behind them? Now, we also go over yesterday about overthinking. There are good overthinking and the bad overthinking, although the participants yesterday agree that they don't really want to say the good overthinking as overthinking. The good overthinking, we want to call it problem solving, because that's exactly what our mind can do. It's problem solve, because our mind is a very amazing, very innovative engine. Because if you think about it, it's because of the human minds we create all the technologies that we have today. So think about that, like it's not just for every, like specific people that can think geniusly, but we all, if we allow ourselves to break free from all the limiting beliefs that we've carried, because how we've been raised, where we grew up, the life lessons that we have in our life, we could actually be innovative, thinking out of the box, be creative. It's all inherent within us. So if you allow your mind to go into problem solving thoughts, that's where you can also beat some of the worryings that run in your mind. Because think about it this way, when your mind is going on overdrive, more likely than not, it's because something that you have not been able to solve. And because it's not solved, your mind goes into different multiple variables trying to solve that. And you think that, oh my God, my mind just can't stop. But because your mind is trying to solve that problem, but you're consciously noticing, it becomes an overthought, an overthinking. So the way that you can stop yourself, sometimes when you start to catch yourself, oh my God, I'm worrying I'm worrying about so many things. There are things that are running in my head. I can't stop myself from thinking. There are a lot of people who keep saying me, I can't meditate. My mind can't stop. You actually can't stop your thinking, because if you allow your mind to to solve a problem, you give your mind, or you take that power back, so that your mind can actually work for you instead of against you. Okay. And then, of course, the overthinking that is bad for us, that keep us stuck. I gave yesterday, which I can just click over here, the type of overthinking, right? The over worrying, constantly reminding yourself of a mistake, constantly reminding yourself about some embarrassing moment, criticizing yourself, hard on yourself, worrying about what catastrophic things that are going to happen in the future, so on and so forth, which you can review in video 1. And something that I also like to watch out with, things that you're trying to worry so much about the future, because we all know that our words create reality. Our words create the life that we live right now. So the more that you invite with your own words, with worries like, oh, tomorrow's going to rain. Well, most likely that, yeah, it's going to rain. And what's going to happen to you? You're either going to be in the rain, or if you're smart and you already tell your mind to, get ready, then you already prepare yourself for not getting rained on. But and it's the same thing, like if you keep telling yourself, well, I will never lose that weight, then most likely than not, you're never going to lose that weight, because your mind is already programmed to believe that you're never going to lose the weight. So your mind will never give you a solution to how to lose the weight. So be very careful with what you say. Even sometimes, I know in some culture, we're trying to play it humble, right? We're trying to play it as like, oh, I don't really want to put myself as like too optimistic or too out there, or I'm afraid that people will think that I'm better than them. But the same words that you use just because you're trying to play yourself to be humble may actually backfire to you, because then you put yourself in a position that you will never get whatever it is that you want, because you never believe it yourself through your words. Okay. And then analysis paralysis, of course, it's the same thing as the hamster wheel. Sometimes you're trying to think about a solution. Again, also be careful when you're overthinking things to details, that instead of you doing things toward what it is, the goals, and I've done this so many times as well, when have so many ideas, I have so many projects, and then I really love this project and I really want this to go, and I overwhelm myself with so many details instead of asking for help and to get things sorted out. Then I went into analysis paralysis, and what happened is, instead of me having the energy to then do the follow through work, because ideas without execution is just going to remain as an ideas, will never become something, right? So in me trying to work on the strategy, thinking about it too much, ended up me not having any energy, then what happened? I don't have the energy to do what I'm supposed to be doing. So now, too much analysis, too much overthinking can also paralyze you from taking action. We all have the capability to think out of the box. I think I mentioned this already. So one thing that you can also tell your mind, especially if it's trying to worry too much about something that's going to happen next or in the future, is that whatever it is at any moment, as long as you already prepare yourself, or even if you're not prepared, if you give yourself a chance to believe yourself that you are capable at any moment to solve any problem. Okay. And today we're going to get into clarity, because I was in a conversation yesterday with one of my best friend, and I asked her, like, what motivates you, what gives you the strength, the energy to move past any type of blockages or like disappointments, failures. We all fails, and as much as we always say, yeah, fail, daringly, like succeed in your failure, or whatever it is that the motivation speakers like to say, like, if you're gonna do something, just do it, be happy failing. And it's, like it or not, we still don't like to fail, right? Fail sucks, and fail can, it hurts, especially the embarrassment knowing that we fail. But oftentimes what we also take in with that failure is the emotions, right? That embarrassment, the disappointments, the guilt. Maybe we'll lose money, we lose time, we lose resources. Although sometimes, as I look back in my life as well, all those lost may not necessarily lost, because I also gained other things outside of that loss. But again, that takes some discernment on yours and my part to realize that. But the first thing that was going to happen is, if we don't separate the loss with what we gain, or remembering or appreciating what we also gain through our life lessons, we attach that loss with such a great emotion that the next thing that we're going to do, we keep remembering about that loss, and it's hard for us to step forward or move forward. To give you a great example, I had a failure in business about maybe 15, 16 years ago. And it was a partnership that went really bad. So for me to start my own business, starting about, maybe 7 years ago, I was very firm about, if I'm going to start my business again, I'm going to do it myself. I will never want to have a partner because of that failure in the past of having partners. But even though I was very determined of having my own business, I want to do it by myself, still there's another deep layers of that failure of owning business. that was still with me for a while until I realized it this year, that part of it's still weighing on me, because when I lost that business, it was catastrophic, and I still carry that trauma with me. So just be mindful that this kind of things, where if we have not let it go truly, if we have not really opened it up and sees the gifts of the catastrophe, even though it was disastrous that time, it gave me different skills and confidence that I didn't realize I was actually using all of that until today, until this year when I look at this problem, because I keep asking, it's like, why is like every time I want to take a risk on business, I keep pulling myself away. And because of that, I'm getting into the point of the clarity here. What is it that important? Because in the conversation that I have with my friend, she also told me, look, I think by now we all know the worry, the fear, the doubt, are we going to make it? Or, do we have enough? All of these things will never go away. But what will keep us going is knowing that we're serving something. We're doing this out of a purpose, because we know this is important for us to do, nothing else. Because the moment that we realize that this is super important for us, then whatever it is, whatever it takes, we will do. Case in point, when I was in college, I really wanted to go to the US. Whatever the fears of like, oh my God, I'm going to be living by myself. Second, I have to learn the language. 3, like what happened if I can't, understand the lecture? But all of those fears, I was so convicted that I wanted to come to the US that I'm like, I did everything that I had to do to pass through all those blocks. So the same principle that we have with our overthinking, with our chaos, the things that clouding us from just saying, okay, I really, really, really want this. That's the part that you have to remember. If I don't do this, what is at stake? What am I going to lose? What is it that's so important that that if I don't do this, I will regret it throughout my life? Rian said desire. Please let me know what you mean by that. Yes, we all have desires, and we all have something beyond just the desire that will put us or keep us and make us want to break through all of the overthinking, the worrying, the blocks that we have to get what it is that we want. Okay. And another thing that we also notice in today's world is that we're in an information overload. There's so many knowledge, there's so many opinions, there's so many marketings, thought-provoking, persuasive pieces, agendas. So it's really hard sometimes to also, you can't really just leave what it is that you want for something that external of you. That's another thing that we want to get clarity on, so that we can come out from the chaos into the clarity, is that what it is that we really want. What is our desire, right? What is really, really important for us to have, to get, that if we don't get this, then it's us, not other people, but it's us that will feel that, oh, I only have this lifetime. If I don't do this, I will regret this. Okay. So that should be the clarity that that I want to instill today, is that when you have that deep desire, it becomes your compass. It becomes your GPS. So no matter what your mind trying to tell you, or no matter even external information trying to tell you, but if you know exactly where you want, what you want, where you want to go, it's really easy for you to then tell your mind to, okay, mind, thank you so much. I know you're trying to tell me this, but I feel very strongly that this is the way that I want. This is exactly where I want to go. Help me get there, instead of preventing me from getting there. There's a quote from Gretchen Rubin: Often, sometimes there's something that I want to do, but somehow I can't get myself to do because sometimes I just don't have the clarity. And the lack of clarity comes from feeling all the ambivalence because you just don't have all the pieces. Or you probably want to do this, but somebody else said you have to do this way, but you don't want to do this. And all of this confusions, you have to distill in yourself, okay, if I don't follow this, what is available for me to get where I want? Because another point that I want to to remind you that there's so many ways to get to a point, and you all have that creativity to be able to figure it out. Okay. Before I continue, any questions, any thoughts, any comments? Feel free to unmute yourself, or if you want to put it in the chat, feel free to do so. Or any question? Yeah.
I don't have a question, but one of the things I think is really important is that you have to let things go. And one of the things that I learned was, if you have this thing that you want, it's fine. What I meant by desire is desire inspires action, because once you desire something so much that you cannot not act on it, that's really what you want. And then the second thing is that one of those things about overthinking and worries is that you have to let things go, because I realized that with a couple of things. For instance, I have a money situation, and so when I was worrying about it, it didn't get solved. Once I let it go and I didn't worry about it anymore, I just said, okay, well, this is going to work itself out, and then it did. The thing is that if you let things go, that is also one of the key points of manifestation, is to let things go. And even with things like love, if you hold on to that so hard, what happens is you almost chase people away, because it almost becomes like a desperation. And once you have desperation, there's no room for growth. It's almost like clutching at things. It's almost like if you're holding on to something so hard that you, or not a concept so hard that you almost don't give it enough time to be free and let itself evolve in the way that it's supposed to. And I think that's really one of the things that for me is really key. And I think that if you want to get something out there and do something, it doesn't mean you go into inaction. It just means you let it go and let yourself open to possibility. And I think that's more the case of it.
That's wonderful. Thank you so much for sharing that. Wonderful. Yay. You got a heart from Debbie. Awesome. And another one from Yenny. That's awesome. All right. Before I move on, anybody has any thoughts or anything that you need coaching on? Like you have, like yesterday, a couple of the participants raised their hand and say, okay, I have this problem. Help me understand why I'm worrying about it so much, and how can I get clarity on the situation. So if I open the floor, you can unmute yourself. If you want to turn on your video, you can. If you just want to have your voice, you can do that as well. Going once, going twice. Okay, so I'm curious, what are important for you right now? Like, what is it that you really desire? What is it that you really want, that you're working on, not working on, but it's in your mind right now? Like, what are one or two things that you really want? And you can put it in chat, or you can unmute yourself.
It looks like everybody's falling asleep. Me, it's like really early. Well, one of the things that I really want and is to, I've got a whole lot of things that I've got ability to do and to put out there, but I've got no audience. So that for me is like a really big thing. And I think that in order to get yourself out there and to impart your skills on others, you really have to be connected to other people. And I think that one of the things that I kind of failed at was that I was in the same community as the things I have an interest in, and I think that's really okay. But for me, I want to find sort of a group of people, audience outside of that, and that's really a big desire, but also a big challenge, because I've got no idea how to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah. And why is it so important for you?
Well, the thing is, if you have something to say and nobody to say it to, it's like the tree that falls in the forest. If there's no one around to hear it, it doesn't make a sound. So that's really the thing. I mean, if it doesn't help you have something that you have to say and nobody to listen. So that's really important to then create that.
Yeah. Go deeper into this is an exercise that and everybody can also do this with me. Like, for you the desire to be able to teach, your knowledge to others, right? To be able to I think Yanni also said, I really want to grow my startup business. And Debbie said, how do we tell ourselves not to worry too much about things we can't control, such as family's health? If these are important for you, right? Teaching, growing a business, your family's health. Something about, I'm gonna tackle Debbie's question, but like teaching or marketing your offering, growing your startup business, go really deep into that want. Again, what is it that you like? Why is it so important? Because, and I'm the key here is that the important is how is this gonna make you become? Who are you gonna become when you find a way to now be able to teach in front of many people, to be able to sell this startup, the product that you have, Yanni, to through your startup business? Like, who are you becoming? Because sometimes we think that, yeah, I want to grow this business, I want to be in front of the people, I want to make money and things like that. But it's actually, there's an underlying, a very deep need that we want, that really desire, that deep desire that is not at the surface level, but it may also come like in a feeling. Like for me, I realized that me going, doing this teaching, becoming a coach, in the beginning, I thought, I want to help a lot of people, right? But as I go deeper into the need to be able to, becoming a coach, it's actually more so that I have a desire to be totally independent of what I can say, what I believe, what I create, and be independent financially, and be able to take care of myself and my family through doing the things that I know I have a gifts and strength. That was the deepest desire. I want to become me. I want to become free of who I am, that I'm able to help others because I'm so comfortable and confident about myself. It took me a while to understand that, because once I settled in that feeling, and I invite any of you to also figure out for yourself, why do I really want to really teach this? Why is this so important to me to teach? Why is it so important for me to grow this startup? And for you, Debbie, what is it so important for me to important to you about your family health? Which I'm also going to ask you, why is it so important for yourself about your own health? Because we cannot change other people's mind. That's one thing that I've learned in the hard way, even in my own practice as a coach. I can't change people's belief and their I can't change people's belief. They have to change it themselves. I can help guide you. That's why I'm a coach. But I can't tell you, now you have to eat spinach. Try that to anyone. If they hate spinach and you tell them to eat spinach, will they eat spinach? More likely than not, no. Right? So, especially with people's health, families' health, you can tell them so many. Research shows that you're going to die of coronary disease if you keep eating blah, blah, blah. But if that person believes that, well, that so-and-so, my neighbor, keep eating that and live to 100, do you think you can change their mindset to then starting to live a healthier lifestyle based on what you believe? It's very hard. I hope that answered your questions a little bit, Debbie. It's a little bit tricky because you're worrying about something that you can control, right? You can't control how your families look at their health. It's really hard. I know sometimes I also have to, I have to work on that on myself, because the thing is, at the end of the day, it is our own, it's our own limitations. It is what sometimes what create that worries is sometimes that's something that we also have to look within ourselves. Why do we want them to change their life? What do I need to change within myself so that I can always still have that compassion for them? You turn on your video. So what do you have? You have questions?
No, I mean, can you hear me?
Yeah.
Yeah, no, I mean that makes sense, because it's right, like everyone have their own preference. I could just say, like you said, eat spinach, and then it's like, oh, I don't like it. So that's probably right. I mean, we can only do as much as we can, but at the end of the day, it's us to see it. Probably that, I mean, circling back what you just said about be mindful of what you said, right? Because I believe you are what you said. So probably if I said my family will be okay, they'll be healthy, that
Yes.
probably helped me too, not to worry that much. Because I mean, they've been doing, said my parents, right? They've been doing things they believe best for them for like longer than I am. And then probably, yeah, it's so probably just can wish them well, and then just tell myself not to worry, probably.
Yeah. Yeah.
Not
Because
to worry. Takes time.
we're different generations. And yes, like I said in this slide, right? We have this
Mhm.
information overload. Everybody has knowledge, everybody has opinion. There's new breakthrough in whatever medical things that sometimes we're like, okay, which one is right, which one is wrong? We don't know. We really have no idea. And any medical things right now, people can say this drugs work, that procedures work, but we won't know the rate of their success and failure, not until years to come. And when that happened, we can only look back, oh, actually, that thing's not working. It's just like the way that we're learning about cholesterol today. Back in the day, it's just such a, it's a prediction that you're going to die from a heart disease. But nowadays, people said, well, it's not the only indicator. There's so many other indicators. And, sometimes high cholesterol does not indicate, like a death stamp that you're going to die of a heart disease. So things are still going to evolve. And I'm not trying to say then, well, then what can I believe, or which one that, I need to do or not to do. But I think more so than yesterday, I made the point telling the story when I was traveling to New York. One of my friend said to me like, well, I hope there's no crying baby sitting next to you. Hope you have a amazing and great travel. I'm like, why do you have to point out there's going to be a crying baby sitting next to me? Because I don't want it, right? It's just like that projection that we give to people. If I know sometimes it's just like, it's cheeky, right? It's like, it's funny. It's like,
Mhm.
yeah, you don't want to sit next to me. I mean, it's true. We don't, but don't project this on us. So
Yeah.
if you really want your families to live a healthy, life, then wish them that instead of,
Mhm.
no, you can't eat that. It's just like, we've done that. We've got that so much when we're growing up as a child. And
Mhm.
what do? The more that we're given, it's like,
The same
no,
thing.
yeah, we're gonna say, okay, I'm gonna just eat that, I'm gonna do that, and like, it's just, we're becoming what our parents don't want us most of the time,
Mhm.
because that projection can often become that mantra that becomes true instead of
Yep.
the intention when he said, you're not, look at, be healthy, be prosperous, feel it in your body, give them the confidence that they know what exactly is good for their body, because we all have that intelligence within us, just like you
Yeah.
do, your parents have it as well.
Mhm. Yeah, that makes sense. Thank you.
You're very welcome. Any other questions? I hope that reduced the worry.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. It's a work, it's a practice. It's a work in progress, even myself, and that's part of the journey, is that we also, through the process of becoming more compassionate to our parents, right? We also learn to be compassionate with ourselves, because when we become compassionate with ourselves, we can be compassionate to other people's, because we start to give that power back, the belief back, to have faith in ourselves, that we know that we can take care of ourselves no matter what the situation at any moment. And when we can believe that again, we worry less, because we don't put too many things in their mind. Oh, this is going to happen. This is going to happen. Oh, you suck. Oh, look at that. You made a mistake again. See, if you're not doing this. So once we become compassionate, like Rian said, we forgive ourselves, we let it go. It's like, okay, I'm going to fail. Oh, well, I'm going to mistake again. Well, I'm going to do better next time. I made a mistake, I took the wrong step, or I listened to the wrong people. Okay, next time, this is what I'm going to do. So that's also training our mind to become the problem solver, instead of just like, you make a mistake again, when are you going to learn? So that part of letting go, forgiveness, is where we also can become loving to ourselves. We can also become loving to others. Hope that makes sense. Awesome. Okay, I'm gonna read other chat here. I want to lose my weight around 20 kg. Why is it important? Because I'm tired living in this current body. Wonderful. I want to feel healthier, live longer, enjoying the old age with oh my God, this is amazing, and be better version of myself. And Arfini, I love the importance, really do, that you're tired of living in this current body, that you want to feel healthier, you want to live longer. So keep reminding yourself, now that you know what you don't want, what do you want, right? What do you want to feel? And not in the way that, that you then put yourself into like, oh, I will not love myself if I'm not that person, right? I will not love myself if I don't carry this weight. I won't love myself because this, this body is uncomfortable right now. So, know that what you want to feel, healthier, live longer, that's great. And there's part of you that also want to come back to you, where can I love myself in this present moment? Because right now, if you allow your mind to fight the current circumstances, because I'm not losing the weight yet, then it's really hard to lose the weight, because you're in battle, having that disappointment, a relationship with yourself. So allow yourself to really come back to you, to understand that even in this situation, okay, this is a practice that you can do for Arfini. What can you be grateful for today? What can you be grateful for your body today? because I can, I believe that you're still healthy, right? You have a healthy body. There's some excess weight, yes, but you're living a healthy life. You're happy. I can tell as well. I know who you are, so I've seen your posts, that you're working, you're making money, you're providing for yourself, you're providing for your family. So what can you still be grateful no matter what is the condition? How can you be grateful? So that the more that you are grateful, the more that you're happy now, instead of putting that happiness later, that your best life will not happen because you're not losing the 20 kg, then it's a chicken and egg, because what's going to happen first? You have to lose the 20 pounds before you become your best self, or you can become a best self and lose the 20 kg. And that's where you want to be, is that you working together, your mind, your body, and your heart, to be that you already are the best version of yourself. And because you're stronger, you can lose whatever it is that you want to lose. Okay. I have lost 15 kg in 4 months. It is now good talking about it. Get a goal and commit. Wonderful. Thank you, Rian. And focus with what we can do instead of worrying things that we can control. Wonderful. Yes. Yay, Yeti. Maybe start small, one day at a time, and celebrate it. Don't focus on the number, but the feeling. Wonderful. Yes. Yes. I like that as well.
Is that I would say one of the things I've always had this misconception about weight loss. I think absolutely I agree with Corin that you've got to accept yourself and be the best self that you can be right now. And one of the really hard obstacles for me was that you start to accept yourself for as you are, and I think you should accept yourself who you can be. I think that's really important, and when you start to accept yourself who you can be, if you start to feel good about yourself no matter what, then you can then align yourself with someone better, and that can help you take up the commitment. Because like I was saying, if you desire to lose weight, it's fine, but when you go over into action, that's when you know that you really want it. And the thing is, when you really want something, then you start to listen to the advice. You start to pick up on the things that are important. And absolutely, I think the biggest problem for weight loss specifically is you've got to get around the ideas that you have about eating, about intake of things. And I think that was one of the things that I struggled with, was that you have this belief, or you have this routine, what is it, your BS, your belief system. And my belief system around food was very specific. I believed that it worked a certain way, and that I had certain habits that I had to break. And I think that was the hard thing to do, and to go and accept that something else works, and that there is something different there for you. And I think that if you have a desire and you have a goal, you start to get into activity, then you start to question your belief system and say, well, whatever I was doing up to now didn't work, so I have to accept that there's something else out there that can work for me. And then it's when you start to take on advice, and you listen to people, and you listen to advice, and then one of the great things is fake it till you make it. You just I always tell my daughter, you do the things in the worst way that you can. Don't try and do it perfectly. Just do it. It doesn't matter if you do it like half-assed. Just go into it and do something, and just do it every day. Because
Yes.
when you start to do it more, you basically, every day that you do it, it becomes easier to do. Like with exercise, I started and I'm exercising again. And the thing where you start is you don't try and do it right the first time and do it perfectly. You just try and do it every day. Like the one guy was trying to run, and all he did is put his shoes on and walk outside. And even if he ran 100 yards, that would be enough. And you could get out there every day, no matter what. That doesn't matter if it's raining or whatever the case is. And I'm sure he didn't wish the rain on himself. just so we could add to that.
That's wonderful. Thank you. Thank you so
but
much for sharing that.
No worries.
Yeah, that's wonderful. So I know I keep saying it's 30 minutes workshop that we end up almost an hour. Like Rian said, you know, I want to also like remind everyone, there's really no one way to get the desires that we want, but we have to take actions. We have to step in. It cannot be just a concept. It cannot be just something that we're over worrying about, but it's something that we need to put something in place. And that's what day 3 is going to be. Tomorrow, we're going to bring it all together. We're all going to bring all the pieces and create the blueprint that you can start taking action on moving forward. I'm going to leave all of these quotes. I got this from, you know, people that I've interviewed the last week, 2 weeks or month. And I also put a quote from a famous person. But the key here is that remember to not putting everything just as a concept, as a mind. Again, it could be really confusing because sometimes what's in our mind is not just necessarily our own thoughts, but something that we adopt from others and externals, right? But we all have the intelligence within us to know what it is that we want. And when we know what we want, the key here is we take the power. We have the power to change our life. And when we really know who we want to become, and not saying that, and again, I guess in this one, I want to give a caveat. When you want to become doesn't mean that you have to become that person first to be able to feel that you are whole. I want to tell you right now, there's really nothing wrong with you. You're whole, you're complete, you're perfect. The only thing that prevent you, or the gap between you and what you really want, is that we completely, somewhere, somehow lose faith, lose the belief within ourselves. That somewhere, somehow we believe that we don't have control over who we are, over how we want to create this life that we want, you know, we call life, that we lose the control of being happy. So once you can remember that you yourself is whole, perfect, and you can create joy, happiness within you, everything that you want and you desire is within your reach. It's no more overthinking, but all about taking actions. So tomorrow we're going to bring that back into together, not bring it back, but we're going to, you know, bring it, weave it together. We're going to do a little meditations to envision the big picture and create that blueprint. So after we finish from this workshop and day 3, you're going to be less worried. You're going to feel great about your life. You're going to take actions every day toward your dreams, toward what it is that important for you with confidence. Okay, my friend, I know I'm over the time. Any questions, thoughts, or comments before I say goodbye?
Thank you very much.
You're
That was
very
very-
welcome.
Yeah, just thank you. Appreciate you. This
You're
is
very
great.
welcome.
Thank you.
Awesome. All right. Then I will see you tomorrow, same time. Take care, everyone. Oh, goodbye,
Bye.
doggy. Bye.
Yeah. Bye everyone. Bye bye.
Bye.